Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. This afternoon, I'm here together with Kevin and Bodoy from Gawad Kalinga. Kevin, can you please tell us what is Gawad Kalinga?
Good afternoon. Gawad Kalinga is a Philippine non-government organization that started back 14 years ago. We are aiming to help poor families in the Philippines with a specific goal of eradicating 5 million families out of poverty by doing community development, by helping people who are directly affected by floods, natural calamities, climate change, poor families that are economically and capable of helping themselves. So basically, we are composed of 146 workers and 1,000 volunteers that are working all over the country.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, well, as of now, we're about 3,000 communities in the country. So we're slowly inching towards the goal of 5 million Filipino families by 2024. That's the goal. In the next 7 years, we hope to eradicate poverty for, in any form of poverty for 5 million families in the country. So right now we're in about, that's right, 3,000 communities, and we are in engagement with a lot of local leaders and other partners to share to them the vision of GK. So that's where we are right now in terms of expanding the spirit of GK.
Yeah. And can you tell me, Bodoy, how does Gawad Kalinga try to achieve its mission?
Yeah. Well, Gawad Kalinga started it's just like building houses. We were building communities, one community at a time, but time came that we felt that it was not enough to achieve the mission or really hasten or make the process faster of ending poverty. So right now, about 4 years ago, we decided to expand the very strategy of GK. So we went into 21,000 communities. Like right now, the Philippines is composed of about 43,000 communities all over. So it's called barangay. Yeah. When you talk about barangay, it's the smallest unit of governance of the Philippines. No? So we went into 21,000 of them. Then we asked the community, what are your needs and what are your potentials? What are the potentials of the community for livelihood, for infrastructure, and what are the needs of the community? May it be hunger, housing, stable income, etc. Then after that, we went to, after going to those communities, now we decided to share this to the rest of the country or to the rest of the world, because we feel that the 5 million is just about 30% of our countrymen are suffering from poverty. So there's still about 70% who are capable of impacting on the lives of this 30%. So we feel that by making the problem of poverty bite-sized, because if we continue to talk about 5 million, it's so daunting. It's so big of a number that will translate about 35 million individuals. So it's so daunting that even though if there's goodwill in the country and here and abroad, people wouldn't know where to start because it's so big of a problem. So what we did was once we understood the problem or the things that our people need, we now started to share it to the organizations, to local government, to local leaders who are capable of helping. Hey, the problem of poverty can end in our lifetime because we already know what interventions we can provide to our countrymen. So meaning by the end of the day, if an organization is like their line of interest is for water, we can connect them to the right community who needs water.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of good. I think there's a lot of goodwill here
Yeah.
in the world.
Yeah.
It's just that we have to connect them to the right community that will create the most impact, so
Yeah.
that we can really trace and progress will become tangible.
Yeah.
So that's how we want to. That's how our strategy is in achieving the mission.
Yeah. Kevin Bodoy was talking about poverty. Can you give us a little bit more understanding about when you're talking about poverty? What are we talking about exactly?
In our country, poverty can be defined in so many things. Physically, for those that have no income, maybe poverty for those families that do not have their own lands. So most of those we define are living in the side of the river, under the bridge. In our country, there's a lot of those people. Maybe another definition of poverty for us could be those people that are displaced by not man-made calamities or even wars. This is what happened to us for the past year in south of the Philippines. So all of those are being, GK is trying to address all those needs. As Budoy have said, even providing feeding for all the public school children as much as we can. We are feeding around, at the moment,
150,000 kids.
kids every day,
150,000
every school day,
Yeah.
in different parts of the country.
Yeah. How is Gawad Kalinga different from any other organizations, Kevin?
Well, aside from what Budoy shared on our strategy, that what we are doing, maybe on that same note, I would like to maybe highlight how we differentiate ourselves from other organizations. Is because we started with the community approach. We organize each communities that we tend to engage in. Those 21,000 that Budoy was saying are not numbers. Those are relationships that are built. Those 21,000 communities, we were able to send volunteers personally reaching out to each communities and trying to help them find solutions to some of their problems. We're not gonna give everything, we're sure, but as Budoy have said, we are very aware that there's lots of goodness all over the world, that we can find somebody that can address their needs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, another differentiator I think that we have is that we are very heavy on volunteerism.
Yeah.
So we rely mostly on volunteers. We have a very small staff in terms of our organization, but we have a lot of network of volunteers. So when we start mobilizing or creating activities, we tend to reach out and invite for volunteers to come in, so that because we feel that ending poverty for our country, it should not be a job of just one organization.
Yeah.
There should be collaboration. So through volunteerism, we feel that we can share to them the spirit, and hopefully, some will try to follow what GK is doing and create their own group as they move forward, and having the same spirit of ending poverty for our fellow countrymen. So that's, we're heavy on volunteers.
Yeah. And Bodoy, from what I understood, Gawad Kalinga emphasizes entrepreneurship a lot. Why does Gawad Kalinga that entrepreneurship is so important?
Well, we feel that because when we look at the facade of the country, when I was talking about making poverty, the intervention, the interventions bite size. So we decide we were able to come up with 12 interventions, and one of them is social enterprise.
Yeah.
Because we feel that if there's a group of entrepreneurs who are willing to share their expertise to the poor and start to empower them, because that's the whole that's the whole process of GK. It's not about almsgiving. It's about empowerment. So we need a lot of this expertise because we feel that we have the vehicle to end poverty, but as an organization, we're not experts of everything.
Yeah.
So we need to reach out to these experts, like the entrepreneurs, who are willing to invest on the potential of the poor, for them to be able to get out of poverty, and eventually this group of people can now also, pay it forward and help another poor family. So that's why at some point it's very crucial when we talk about wealth creation for self. What we hope is that if I strive for excellence, if I strive for prosperity for myself, I should be able to bring some poor family also, one or two poor families out of poverty and address certain needs in their lives, and start to empower them so that they can stand on their own in the future. So that's why it's one of the strategies that is very crucial for GK.
Yeah. Okay. Bodoy, can you tell me how does GK collaborate with Lille Catholic University?
Well, you know what? We're very grateful because every year students from Lille goes to the Philippines and volunteer. They get deployed to a community where they can start something. And basically we're very grateful to the country itself, to France, because we have about 44 schools from France who continuously bring in volunteers, interns to immerse with the community, so that to create impact and to create presence in the lives of the people in the Philippines, and one of them is Lille, and we're very grateful for that collaboration, and hope that this partnership continues, because we will reach more and more poor communities in the country.
Yeah, and from our students, a lot of the students who have been to the Philippines, it has been such an enriching experience for them, and there are even some who stay in the Philippines. Kevin, I just wanted to end with you and ask you, what can the viewers do to contribute to Gawad Kalinga's mission?
A lot. For one, what Budoy have been sharing with the partnership with Lille Catholic University, we can continue sending interns or volunteers that can have the opportunity to engage. But for those that cannot come, the spreading of the work that we are starting to build in the Philippines and in collaboration with Lille Catholic University could be spread, so that we can address and help more poorer families and communities as well.
Yeah. Okay. Bodoy, Kevin, thank you very much for this interview.
Thank you.
Thank you
for this opportunity also.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah.